Have you ever felt like you were walking on eggshells in your own home? This silent epidemic is called narcissistic abuse. It slips in quietly, disguised as love and care, but slowly chips away at your sense of self. You are not imagining things. The pain and confusion are real. This journey is about unmasking that danger and finding your way back to the light. You are not alone. One of the most powerful tools in a narcissist's arsenal is the mask of virtue. They often present themselves as exceptionally good, moral, or even deeply religious individuals. This is not a coincidence, it is a deliberate tactic. By aligning themselves with concepts of goodness and faith, they create an almost impenetrable shield against criticism. They know that society tends to trust people who appear devout or morally upright. This makes it easier for them to gain your trust, your family's approval, and the admiration of your community. They build a foundation of perceived integrity, which later becomes a weapon against you. This religious or good guy persona is incredibly effective at disarming you. When you meet someone who speaks of values, kindness, and faith, your guard naturally comes down. You believe you have found a safe harbor, a partner who shares your core beliefs. The narcissist will mirror your values back to you, making you feel a deep and instant connection. They might quote scripture, volunteer for charitable causes, or speak passionately about justice and fairness. This is all part of the act, a carefully constructed performance designed to make you see them as a trustworthy and honorable person, someone you could build a life with. The danger of this mask is that it makes the abuse that follows even more confusing and painful. When the person you believe to be a pillar of morality starts to belittle you, control you, or lie to you, it creates intense cognitive dissonance. You struggle to reconcile the good person you fell in love with and the cruel individual now standing before you. You might make excuses for them, thinking, he's just stressed, or he's a good man at heart, he didn't mean it. This is exactly what the narcissist wants. Your confusion keeps you trapped, questioning yourself instead of questioning their behavior. This essay will pull back the curtain on this deceptive performance. We will examine how this mask of goodness and piety is used not only to trap you, but also to justify abusive actions later on. It is a crucial part of the manipulation cycle, designed to make you doubt your own perceptions and reality. By understanding this strategy, you can begin to see the narcissist for who they truly are, not for the character they pretend to be. Recognizing the mask is the first powerful step in taking it off, both for them and for yourself, allowing you to see the truth and start your journey toward healing. The journey into a narcissist's world almost always begins like a fairy tale. They arrive as Prince Charming, showering you with affection, attention, and grand gestures, making you feel uniquely cherished. This whirlwind romance is called love bombing. It feels magical, but it's a carefully crafted illusion. Underneath the charm, it's a trap, designed to make you emotionally dependent. The higher they lift you, the harder the fall. Letting go means leaving behind the dream they built for you. The narcissist works tirelessly to build a public image of virtue, positioning themselves as a pillar of the community, a saint in everyone's eyes. They lead charities, are active in religious institutions, and always seem helpful. This public persona makes it nearly impossible for others to believe they could be cruel in private. At home, they are critical and distant, leaving you isolated and doubting yourself. Unmasking the community saint means breaking through a wall of collective denial. One of the most insidious tactics a narcissist uses is called mirroring. They reflect your personality, values, and interests right back at you, making it feel like you found your soulmate. But you're falling in love with a reflection of yourself, a perfect echo they've crafted. This creates instant intimacy, but it's all an illusion. Once they have your trust, the reflection fades, revealing their true, empty self, leaving you heartbroken and questioning if they ever really existed. The mask of goodness can't be worn forever. Inevitably, small cracks appear, subtle moments when the charming facade slips. It might be a harsh joke, a flash of anger, or a moment of selfishness. These incidents are often dismissed, but they're early red flags. Test to see what you'll tolerate. Recognizing these cracks is the first step to breaking free from the illusion. As the initial charm fades, you enter a bewildering stage of the relationship. The narcissist reveals a core trait: they are never, ever wrong. No matter the evidence, they refuse accountability, protecting their fragile ego at all costs. This isn't just stubbornness, it's a defense mechanism. They twist facts, deny reality, and exhaust you until you give up. You're left doubting yourself, feeling unheard, and perpetually in the wrong. Gaslighting is one of the most insidious tactics in a narcissist's playbook. It's psychological manipulation that makes you doubt your own reality, memory, and even your sanity. They twist facts, deny events, and insist you're imagining things or you're being too sensitive. Over time, you begin to question yourself and lose trust in your own mind. Breaking free means learning to trust yourself again and reclaiming your reality. A classic and cruel tactic of the narcissist is to provoke you intentionally and then blame you for your emotional reaction. They will push your buttons, disrespect your boundaries, and say hurtful things until you finally break down in tears or lash out in anger. The moment you react, the tables are turned. Suddenly, the focus is no longer on their provocative behavior, it is on your unstable or dramatic response. They will look at you with faint concern or disappointment and say things like, "See? This is what I have to deal with," or "You always overreact. You have anger issues." They paint you as the problem, using your predictable human emotion as evidence of your instability. This strategy is a masterful way for them to avoid all responsibility. They create the toxic environment, but you are blamed for being poisoned by it. The narcissist gets to play the role of the calm, rational victim who is simply putting up with your out-of-control emotions. They completely ignore the fact that their actions were the direct cause of your distress. This is a form of emotional entrapment. They set a trap, you fall into it, and then they condemn you for falling. It is a no-win situation designed to make you feel ashamed of your own feelings, leading you to suppress your emotions to avoid their judgment. Over time, this pattern conditions you to believe that your emotions are the problem. You start to police your own feelings, terrified of having a reaction that will be used against you. You might try to remain calm and unemotional, even when you are being deeply hurt, just to avoid giving them any ammunition. This leads to a state of emotional numbness, where you disconnect from your own feelings as a survival mechanism. The narcissist effectively silences you by making you afraid of your own voice and your own heart. They teach you that your pain is not a valid response to their abuse, but rather a character flaw that you need to fix. This blame game is incredibly isolating. It makes you feel fundamentally flawed and difficult to love. You start to believe their narrative, that you are the crazy one in the relationship. When they successfully convince you of this, they gain even more control. You become more compliant, more eager to please, and more willing to accept their bad behavior because you believe you are the one who needs to change. Escaping this dynamic requires understanding that your reactions are normal. Crying when you are hurt is normal. Feeling anger when you are disrespected is normal. Your emotions are not the problem. The abuse that triggers them is the problem. Narcissists wield an impenetrable responsibility deflection shield, reflexively shifting blame onto others and never themselves. No matter the situation, job loss, speeding ticket, failed plans, there's always an external reason. They reject personal ownership, making genuine growth impossible. You're left carrying the weight, exhausted by their refusal to accept responsibility. The only way to win is to stop playing, refuse their blame, and hold on to your truth. When a narcissist adopts a religious persona, it's rarely about true devotion. It's about control. They twist faith into a weapon, cherry-picking scripture to demand obedience and justify abuse. Your spiritual autonomy is dismissed. Their interpretation is the only one that matters. They isolate you from supportive communities, ensuring their voice is the only one you hear. faith, meant to comfort, becomes a cage, leaving you feeling alone and spiritually inadequate. Reclaiming your faith means recognizing their version is a distortion, and your connection to the divine is yours alone. The narcissist's favorite shield? That's between me and God. This tactic silences you, invalidates your pain, and dodges accountability. They frame betrayal as a private spiritual matter, erasing your right to answers or healing. Wrapped in false piety, they avoid real change, leaving you to bear the emotional fallout. Challenging them makes you seem faithless, trapping you in guilt and powerlessness. Remember, your pain is real, and no one gets to use God as an excuse to hurt you. For the narcissist, forgiveness isn't healing, it's a demand. They pressure you to forgive instantly, using scripture to guilt you and bypass accountability. Your reluctance is labeled as weakness or sin, turning your pain against you. True forgiveness is your choice, on your timeline, not a reset button for their behavior. Don't let them weaponize your faith. Forgiveness is for your peace, not their convenience. Reclaim your power by defining forgiveness on your own terms. The religious narcissist's words and actions never match. Publicly, they're a model of faith. Privately, they're cruel and deceitful. Their pious image is a shield, making it hard for others to believe your truth. This hypocrisy is intentional, a strategy to manipulate and isolate you. Trust your experience. Real faith is shown in consistent kindness, not empty words. Exposing their duplicity is reclaiming faith from their abuse. After eroding your spirit, the narcissist launches relentless criticism. Every aspect of your life is targeted. Nothing you do is ever right. This barrage is designed to destroy your confidence and make you dependent. Publicly, they praise you. Privately, they tear you down, leaving you isolated and doubting yourself. Their goal is control, not your growth. Recognize the pattern. And remember, their criticism is a reflection of their need for power, not your worth. You are nothing without me. This is the narcissist's most toxic mantra, designed to crush your self-esteem and make you feel lost and alone. They want you to believe your worth depends on them, erasing your confidence and independence. But the truth is, you are strong, capable, and resilient. You were someone before them, and you can be even greater after. One of the key tools used to erode your self-worth is the narcissist's creation of an impossible, unattainable standard of perfection. You're expected to be the perfect partner, the perfect homemaker, the perfect mother, and the perfect social companion all at once, and honestly without a single slip-up. This standard isn't just high, it's superhuman. No matter how hard you try or how much you achieve, it's just never enough. If you keep the house immaculate, they'll find a single speck of dust to criticize. If you cook a gourmet meal, they'll complain about the seasoning. There's always something wrong, something you could have done better, something that falls short of their impossibly high expectations. This standard of perfection is a constantly moving target, and it guarantees your failure. The narcissist sets you up to fail because your failure fuels their sense of superiority. Each time you fall short of their impossible ideal, they get to reinforce their position as the more competent, intelligent, or discerning partner. It gives them yet another opportunity to criticize you, to express their disappointment, and to remind you of your supposed inadequacy. The game is rigged from the start. You're running a race with a finish line that moves every time you get close, leaving you in this perpetual state of striving, exhaustion, and feeling like a disappointment. This dynamic is incredibly damaging to your mental health. It can lead to severe anxiety and a paralyzing fear of making mistakes. You might find yourself becoming a perfectionist, desperately trying to finally earn their approval, spending hours cleaning, cooking, or preparing for an event, only to be met with the same inevitable criticism. This can lead to burnout and a deep sense of hopelessness. You start to internalize their standards, becoming your own harshest critic. You begin to believe that you're lazy, incompetent, or simply not good enough because you can never seem to meet the bar they've set for you. But it's so important to contrast this with what a healthy partner expects. In a loving relationship, partners support each other and celebrate their efforts, even when things aren't perfect. A kind man, including a respectful Muslim man who follows the true tenets of his faith, understands human fallibility. He appreciates your efforts, offers help instead of criticism, and values you for who you are, not for some impossible ideal. He doesn't need you to be perfect to feel good about himself. Recognizing that the narcissist standard is not a reasonable expectation, but a tool of abuse is a critical step toward freeing yourself from the pressure to be flawless and embracing your own beautiful human imperfection. In the midst of the narcissist's campaign to destroy your self-worth, you may sometimes encounter genuine kindness from others. These moments, whether a kind word from a stranger, a gentle conversation, or witnessing healthy relationships, are a stark contrast to the toxic environment you live in. They remind you of what you truly deserve: respect, dignity, and love. Hold on to these glimpses of kindness. They are your anchor to reality and hope for a better future. To the woman reading this, who feels broken or lost, hear me. You are stronger than you believe. Every day you've survived is proof of your resilience. Every time you've picked yourself up, you've forged unshakable strength. The light inside you is not gone. It's just buried, waiting to shine again. Your spirit is more powerful than his poison. Look in the mirror and see the survivor you truly are. Break the lie that you are weak. You are a survivor, and your journey back to yourself starts now. Have you ever wondered why he chose you? The truth is, narcissists are drawn to strength, not weakness. He chose you because you are vibrant, empathetic, and wise, everything he lacks. Your light made his emptiness unbearable. Remember, you are not a victim because you are weak, but a survivor because you are strong. Now, reclaim your worth. You are and always have been the prize. Breaking free is not a journey you have to take alone. The narcissist worked hard to isolate you, but the most powerful act is to shatter that isolation. Reach for a lifeline. Confide in a friend, family member, or support group. Even if you feel alone, there are online communities and hotlines ready to help. Your story matters. Let someone help you carry the weight until you are strong enough to stand on your own. The final chain, and the heaviest one to break, is the one wrapped around your own heart. It is the lie he has carefully taught you to tell yourself, that you are not enough. He has worked to make his validation the only one that matters, so that without it you feel worthless. Your journey to freedom begins with a quiet, powerful revolution inside yourself. It starts with the simple, profound, and life-altering realization that you are and have always been enough. You do not need his approval to be worthy. You do not need his permission to be happy. Your value is inherent. It was there before him, and it will shine brightly long after he's gone. This is not a feeling that will come overnight. It is a practice. It is a conscious choice you must make every single day. When his critical voice echoes in your head, you must choose to replace it with your own voice of compassion. When you feel the pull of wanting his validation, you must choose to validate yourself instead. Start small. Acknowledge one good thing you did today. Remind yourself of one quality you like about yourself. Celebrate a small victory, even if it is just getting out of bed. You are retraining your mind to seek approval from within, rebuilding the self-love that he tried so desperately to demolish. This journey is about becoming your own hero. It is about learning to mother the wounded parts of yourself with the same compassion and empathy that he exploited. Treat yourself with the kindness you so freely gave to him. When you are sad, allow yourself to cry without judgment. When you are angry, acknowledge that your anger is a valid response to injustice. You are learning to trust your own feelings and instincts again, becoming your own safest harbor. This process of self-reclamation is the ultimate act of defiance against his abuse. You are taking back the power he stole and placing it firmly back in your own hands where it belongs. Know this deep in your bones. You are enough. You are smart enough, strong enough, beautiful enough, and worthy enough of a life filled with peace, respect, and genuine love. The life he told you was impossible is waiting for you. It takes immense courage to take that first step away from the familiar pain and into the unknown future. But that future is yours to create. You are the author of the rest of your story, and you can write a beautiful ending, one that begins with the chapter where you finally realized your own worth and decided that you, and you alone, are more than enough. The journey of unmasking a narcissist is painful and confusing. You have walked through shadows, felt the sting of blame and the weight of not being enough. But your story does not end in darkness. You are resilient. Your dawn is waiting. Step into the light, believe in your worth, and know you are enough. You are strong. You are a survivor. You are free.